I've been trading options for many years, and I have an options trading community where I send out trading alerts every single day to the community. And in order to get into these trades, you need to understand the option chain. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to understand the option chain. So let's get into it. First, what is an option? In order for you to get into a trade, you need to know what an option is to begin with. So, an option, all it is an agreement where it'll give you the right, but not the obligation, where you can buy or sell a stock at a specific price within a certain time period. And now, the option chain is just that agreement. It's just a menu with all the terms to that agreement where you can buy and sell these contracts going back and forth. That is what an option chain is. So, what are the terms? What are the specific things that are in that contract? First, you have your calls, then you have your puts, then you have your expiration date, you have your strike price. So, I'm going to break all that down for you, right? So, therefore, you can understand and then you can get into these trades. First thing, call. What are calls? You're going to see that you have calls. In order for you to get into a trade, you need to know, hey, is this trade, am I getting into this trade for it to go up or am I getting into this trade for it to go down? If you've determined that you want to get into these trades to get up, that means you're going to be purchasing call options. So you're going to be buying the call option contracts. So in the option chain, you're going to choose the call side. So the call, that means as the price of that stock goes up, the value of your option contract will go up. So now, say if you believe the price of the stock is going to go down, you would purchase put option contract. So now in the option chain, you're just going to choose the put option contract. Other things that you have to consider in the option chain is going to be your expiration date. Your expiration date, that's the last day that your contracts are valid. So on or before that date, you got to decide on three things. One, are you going to close out your contracts for a profit or a loss? Two, are you going to exercise your contracts? Therefore, you can buy or sell those contracts if you are in the money. And then three, are you going to let your contract expire worthless? That means you let it go to zero. You don't want to do that. If you don't want to let it expire worthless, because that means you just let it giving you just throwing everything away. If you believe in that trade, you take a profit. If you don't believe in that trade, you have your stop losses, you close it out. Letting it run get to expired worthless, that means you're just letting it go to zero. That means you lose all that you put in. Granted, you don't lose more than you put in. So say if you purchase a contract for $100, you don't lose more than that $100. All right. So we have our calls, we have our puts. Now we have our expiration date. Other things in that contract that you need to know is your strike price. The strike price, that is also known as the exercise price. That is the price where the stock can be bought or sold. So for calls, when the stock price is at that strike price or above, that means the stock can be purchased. That means you can actually turn it into shares. And then for puts, if the stock price is at or below your strike price, that means you are in the money. You can sell those options contracts. Therefore, you can buy, you can sell within that strike price, but you have to be in the money in order to do that. That's your strike price. A lot of times people make the mistake of confusing the strike price as a target price. The strike price is not your target price. The strike price is simply the price where the stock can be bought or sold. And another thing, just because you choose a strike price, and I'm going to show you guys some examples in a second. I'm going to share my screen with you and show you an option contract, a trade that I got in today with NVIDIA where we've made some profit. And I'll show you what I was looking at in the contract. So therefore you can get a visual and an understanding yourself. All right. So going back to what I was saying. So your strike price, that's the price where the stock can be bought or sold. Your expiration date, that's the last day that the contract is valid. Call is when you believe the price of the stock is going to go up. Puts is when you believe the price of the stock is going to go down. And now we have volume. Volume is the amount of contracts that's being traded that day today. So you're gonna see your the volume within those contracts. You're gonna see it's gonna tell you the stock is gonna in the option chain is gonna tell you how many contracts are being sold, how many contracts are being purchased. So that's what your volume is. The amount of contracts are being bought and sold for the day. And then you have your open interest. The open interest is the amount of contracts that are open, where they haven't been closed, they haven't expired, they haven't been exercised. Those contracts are still available. So you have open interest and then you have volume. Think of it like this. Open interest is the amount of houses that is out here versus you have volume is the amount of houses that is purchased today. The amount of houses that is purchased and sold today versus the open interest, the amount of houses that are in general open in the market. But today, that's what you're looking at in terms of the volume. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you just so you can see some examples of exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not just a blur. I'm going to do a side by side with you, and this is going to be of the option chain. All right, this is going to be of the option chain, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So what we have here, this is Charles Schwab, the Thinkorswim platform, Charles Schwab Thinkorswim platform. And then the Thinkorswim platform, this is what you're seeing is the option chain. And you can see your option chain at whatever platform you're choosing. Personally, the Thinkorswim platform by Charles Schwab is what I use. However, it is up to you with what you would like to use. All right. So let's get further into it so you can see. All right. So what we have, all right, what we have, first thing first, in your option chain, you have your expiration date. This is what you're seeing down here, going all the way down to December 15th, 2028. These are your expiration date. Like I mentioned, the expiration date, that's the last day that the contracts are valid. And for these contracts, just like I mentioned, you'll have three options, whether you can exercise your contracts, whether you're in the money, or whether you can let it expire worthless. So first thing we got to pick out of the option chain is the expiration date. If you're day trading, if you're swing trading, there's different strategies that you can use. If for day trading, so say if today's February 10th, that's the time that the video is being recorded. Tomorrow is February 11th. Tomorrow, this contract will be expiring. So that is 1 day until the expiration. So say if this contract was for today, then it would be 0 days to expiration. And then in your option chain, first thing you want to do, just pick out the stock that you plan on trading. All right. So right now we're using NVIDIA, NVDA. If you wanted to trade something else like Tesla, you would just simply type Tesla. And then say if it was another thing that you wanted to trade, say if AMD, or say if it was SPY or QQQ, you can just type in those stocks and then that will let you know all the option contracts that's available, right? And then another thing to keep in mind, just because you may like a stock, that does not mean it is optionable. Options trading, you want to make sure that these contracts are optionable. That means they have volume. You can actually trade them. You don't just want to trade a stock just because you hear it, but when you go and look and try to see if you can purchase contracts, there's barely any volume. So therefore, you're going to be put at a disadvantage. So for this example, we're going to use NVDA, also known as NVIDIA. NVDA is just a ticker symbol. And I actually got into a trade today with the February 13th expiration date. So I'll show you that as well as an example. So first thing, we're going to choose February 13th. That is tomorrow's expiration. No, that is this Friday's expiration. There's been some changes to the market. Originally, options contracts used to expire on Fridays. However, recently they've certain mega caps, certain major stocks with high volume now expire Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are the 3 days certain stocks like Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft. So now, and a few more, these are the days that they expire. So first thing, we picked the February 13th expiration date. And then what we're seeing here on that left side, these are the calls, like I mentioned. So say if you believe the price of the stock is going to go up, you would be purchasing calls on the left-hand side. And then say if you believe the price of the stock is going to go down, you'd be purchasing puts on the right-hand side. So calls, that means you're bullish. The price of the stock goes up. The value of these options contracts goes up. Puts, that means you're bearish. As the stock price goes down, the value of these options contracts will go up. So essentially, you are making a profit with the stock price going up, and you are making a profit with the stock price going down. right? And then something else to keep in mind, one option contract equals 100 shares. So therefore, these option contracts, you have to multiply it by 100 in order to get the true cost of those contracts. So this contract right here, the $195 call, that says 81 cents. That means it costs $81 to get into that trade because you multiply it by 100. So say if Nvidia goes up, this contract will go up. The value of this contract will go up. And then say if Nvidia goes down, this right side, this contract is going to go up. And then if it doesn't go up, it goes down, then this is going to go down. So where you can win or you can lose, depending on what your setup is, and if you want the contract to go in the direction that you want the contracts to go up based on what you're playing. So whether it's calls or puts. So now the next thing that we want to look at, right, is the middle part. The middle part, this is our expiration date, like I mentioned. The expiration date, that is the last day that your contract is valid, which was what we had to pick out, right? We picked out the expiration date. So now what you're seeing here is the expiration date. But the main thing that you want to look at here in that middle part is your strike price. This is right here, your strike price. So the strike price, that is the price where the stock can be bought or sold. That means that is the price where it can be exercised. That means you are in the money. So this shaded region, you are in the money. The shaded region, you are in the money. So the stock can be bought at this price or above. The stock can be sold at this price or below. If you look, Nvidia is currently at $189, right? $189. And if you look at the in the money contracts, $187.50. So as soon as you're hit above that, you are in the money. In the money contracts, you get better movement, there's higher volume. So overall, they're better. The further out you go, that means you're more out of the money that you are in, right? So expiration date, now we have our strike price. So now other thing that we have that we look at is our ask price. The ask price is what sellers want. The ask price is what the sellers want for that share, or what they're willing to sell a share at, the lowest price that they're willing to share. And then we have our bid price. The bid price right here, that's what you're seeing. The bid price is what buyers are willing, is the highest price someone's willing to pay for that contract, that share. So we have ask price, the bid price, and now we have the volume. The volume is the amount of contracts that's being traded for the day, and we have open interest. Open interest is the amount of contracts that's currently open where they haven't been closed, they haven't been exercised, and they haven't expired. So open interest, volume, bid, ask, expiration date, strike price. This is part of your option chain. These are the things that you need to know. This is part of the agreement where you can buy or sell that stock at a specific price within a certain time period. So that by definition, it pretty much explains it and lets you know that right here off the rip, just off the get-go. And I'm going to give you another example here. I'm going to share this with you so you can see. I'm going to show you. Let me show you. Let's pull it up for you. So I'm going to show you a trade that I got in today. All right, a trade that I got in today. So therefore you can see it. All right, so I'm going to reshare this for you. So give me 1 second here. All right, so let's pop up. All right, so let's bring it over here. Hold on. I gotta share it more. I'm just gonna adjust this for you. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting this up so therefore you can see it yourself. All right, we're gonna show you another example. Let me share the screen. All right, so this is a trade that I got in today. All right, this is a trade that I got. This was Nvidia. This was Nvidia. This was for February 13th. That was Friday's expiration. If you look here, it says February 13th, 2026. This is the expiration date, like I said. And then you have your strike price, $182.5. And this was a put contract. So Nvidia was going down. And as the price of Nvidia was going down, I was making a profit. I walked away with $340, about a 7% profit. In a trade, I wasn't in there for that long. This was the setup right here. Just played a bear flag. We had broke some key levels in pre-market and aftermarket, and I noticed we were forming a bear flag, and then which is what you're seeing here with the rejection off the moving averages. So I played the puts, and we had a nice push down. And then same thing similar to yesterday. If you look, expiration date, February 13th, 2026, $200. That is the strike price, and this was call. So yesterday I got into some calls. That means the price I believe was going to go up, as you can see here, and I made 31% on that trade, about $1,800, $1,770 to be specific. So before I get into every trade, I'm gonna share this just so you can see. Right. So every trade, before I get into the trade, you need to know what contracts you're buying, which is what you're seeing here now. So you have to understand the option chain. So if I'm sending out an alert or signal to all of our members to get into this trade, you have to know what exactly are you buying. If you don't know that, then you're just gonna literally just be overwhelmed with all these numbers, and then you're gonna just end up losing money because you're just gonna pick anything and not knowing, hey, is this a good setup? Am I gonna make money? Am I not gonna make money? Pretty much is gambling, right? So to break it down even further, as you can see here, I put buying. This was me letting all of my members know in my community I was buying NVIDIA February 13th, $182.5 put, and this was at $1.17, $117. Just multiply it by $100. That will give you the cost of that contract. So from there, I went into the option chain and then I purchased NVIDIA. Literally went there. This was 941, right? And then I closed that trade at 950. So this literally took me 9 minutes to make about 8%. 9 minutes to make 8%, which is just one of the beauties and benefits of options trading, where I didn't need to own the stock in order to make money from the stock. And same here, 942, and I was out of it by 946. So this was a 4-minute trade. And for those that are not familiar with my options community, every single trade I get into, I explain it, I break it down so everyone can understand it for themselves. So you're not blindly entering a trade. I let everybody know my levels that I'm going to be entering that trade for that day for possible calls, possible puts, and then I give you the whole breakdown. So therefore, you're understanding it yourself. I also let you know the contracts that I'm going to be purchasing. So therefore, now you can go and purchase those contracts, be ready for it. You're not blindsided by anything. Give you plenty of notice, just break down, explain the setup as well. And then when it comes time to get into the trade, whether it's day trading, swing trading, or leap options, then I will come in here after giving you the heads up. And then once I come in here, I'm letting you know I'm buying it after telling you what I was going to do. And then I will come in here and I will keep you posted on what's happening with that trade. I'll let you know my stop loss, what it is. I'll let you know if we're up, if we're down, and I will let you know when you should be taking profits, just so you can see here. All right. And there you have it, right? And there you have it. That is how you would be able to get in and out of a trade. And that was just some live examples from today that I got into with NVIDIA. So remember, before you get into a trade, you need to understand the option chain. So therefore, you're not just blindly buying calls and puts without knowing anything, because you don't want to get a 0 days to expiration contracts, not knowing the closer you are to the expiration date, the faster that your contracts are going to be moving. Versus if you get a further out of the money contracts and you were just looking to day trade and now you're not getting a major move, then your contracts are going to be moving pretty slow because you've timed it out where it should have been a leap option call or leap puts, but you purchased the wrong contract. So that's something to be very mindful of. When you're trading, you need to understand some basics, and once you have that, you will be all set. So something I would like to ask of you guys is, if this video was very helpful, if you liked it, let me get a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Even if you didn't like it, or if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll leave the link to my Discord below. I'll leave the link to my Discord so you guys can get access to it. Let me just show you guys as well, just so you can see. I'm gonna reshare my screen of my community, because if I'm talking about my community, you need to see, hey, is this community profitable or they're not profitable, so you can know exactly what you would be getting into. So I'm going to reshare this real quickly just to give you a quick little run just so you can see, right? Just we can go to just the last 10 trades because a lot of times people just tell you about the positive, they don't tell you about negatives. As much as we win, losses do happen as well. So this was a win right here. So that's a one win. This is two wins right here. This was a loss. Let me just show you. So this is a loss right here, minus 20%. It would just simply just got stuck in chop. All right, this is a win right here. So we're at 4 trades, 3 wins, 1 loss. 5 trades, 4 wins, 1 loss. 6 trades, 5 wins, 1 loss. 7 trades, 6 wins, 1 loss. 8 trades, 7 wins, 1 loss. 9 trades, 8 wins, 1 loss. 10 trades, 9 wins, 1 loss. And I can keep going and going just so you guys can see exactly what you would be getting if you would join the community. I'll leave the link below in the description. I'll leave the link below in the description. And also any questions that you have, feel free to type it below in the comment section. Like this. Make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button so I can continue to give you guys more videos and share this with a friend. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.